Hi, my name is Peter Dotray, weed scientist with Texas Tech University, joint appointment with Texas A&M AgriLife Research and Extension Service in Lubbock. This work was done as a part of a collaborative effort with James Gricker down in South Texas and with Todd Ballman at Oklahoma State University. Cotton was planted on approximately 7 million acres in 2020. The majority of these acres were planted to the XtendFlex technology, but about 15% or 1 million acres were planted to the Enlist technology. Now, both the XtendFlex and the Enlist allow for improved opportunities to control troublesome weeds, including glyphosate-resistant Palmer amaranth in cotton when used as a part of a system. But whenever herbicide use increases, the increased risk of off-target movement is apparent as well. A couple of years ago, our colleague Eric Prosko from the University of Georgia developed a protocol looking at multiple low-rate exposures of dicamba. And we were a part of those trials, but in addition, we also looked at multiple exposures to low rates of Enlist Duo, and that's what this poster is about. Enlist Duo is a premix of 2,4-D choline and glyphosate. The rates that we used were 1/50th and 1/100th of an X rate. The X rate is 95 hundredths of a pound of acid equivalents per acre. Both of those rates were applied to peanut, 30 followed by 60 days after plant, and also 30 followed by 60 followed by 90 days after plant. So 2 or 3 exposures, 2 different rates. We looked for symptomology. We scored them on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 meaning no symptomology, 2, 25% of the leaves were exhibiting symptomology, 3 is 50%, 4, 75, and a 5 would be all of the leaves. We also looked for peanut stunt, and these plots which were maintained weed-free were taken to yield, and we also looked at the grading as well. So first of all, from a scoring standpoint, in Seminole in 2019, scores as high as 3 were observed following the higher rate of Enlist Duo. A 2 was observed following the lower rate, but no symptomology was observed at the end of the year. In the second year, no symptomology from the low rate and scores as high as 2 from the higher rate. In South Texas, the first year, scores as high as 3 were observed regardless of the rate. In the second year, no injury from the low rate, scores as high as 2 from the higher rate. And then finally in Fort Cobb in the year 2020, a score as high as 4 initially following 1 application of the high rate, but by the end of the year, symptomology was no longer apparent. From these 5 locations, we never observed any stunting of the peanuts, and when the plots were taken to yield, there was no adverse effect relative to the weed-free, non-treated control. In 4 of the 5 locations where grade was recorded, there was no differences in grade comparing the treatments to the non-treated control. So this data would suggest that although symptomology was apparent at these very low rates following multiple exposures, none of that transferred to any yield or grade loss. I think the focus needs to continue to be on-target pesticide application, but this data would suggest that low rates of Enlist Duo, which again is a premix of 2,4-D and glyphosate, did not adversely affect yield or grade in all 5 trials. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or my other 2 colleagues on this project. Thank you.